Today we're going to start making the pages for your sketchbook. First thing that you need to know is that the individual sections of paper that you folded yesterday have a name. These are called signatures. A signature is just a section of pages inside of a book. So looking at the sketchbook that I constructed before, you can see that 3 signatures kind of lined up right there next to each other, stacked on top of each other, kind of like toppings on a sandwich. Each little section is called a signature, and your sketchbook will have 3 signatures. Each signature has 7 sheets of paper folded in half. So to get started, you're going to need the 3 signatures that you folded from yesterday. And what you will do first is use a folding tool like this one to crease the edge. I noticed that yesterday some of you were doing this with the edge of a pencil, which is fine, but there is a specific tool for it, and this is it. And so you just slide that along the edge to sharpen that crease right there. Okay. When you're finished, you're going to carefully unfold it, keeping the pages lined up, stacked up nice and even on each side. What you will do is put on a couple of little binder clips on each side. One here, and then one on the other side as well, to hold this so that you can work with it. After you get your binder clips on, then you're going to use a little guide that I made for you, this piece of cardboard. It's on your table. This is what you will use to determine the placement of the holes that you'll be punching along this crease. So wherever there is a black line, you're going to take your pencil and just make a little mark right on that fold, right on that crease. And it's really important that you get these lined up pretty close. So make sure that the edge of this guide is lined up with the edges of your paper on each side. So you can see that that matches really nicely. It doesn't matter which way you turn it, it should be about the same. So I've measured these for you. They may not be exactly, like this one isn't exactly the same, regardless of how you flip it, but it's close enough. So after you've got them marked, then what you're going to do is go over to the other side of the classroom where I have some hammers and nails laid out. You're going to take a nail and a hammer, and you're going to punch a hole with that nail right on the fold, right there on the fold, with this paper laying out flat. Okay, so this whole thing is laying out flat. You're going to take your nail right on that fold and just punch a little hole in there. And as you can see, this really shouldn't take but more than, say, 15 seconds for each one. I don't want you to spend all day doing this part. We don't really have time. I want to try to get through this part of the project really quickly. After you have it punched, then what you're going to do is sew it together with a length of thread. The length of thread is already cut for you. You're going to put that through the end of one of these large tapestry needles, but do not tie it. Do not tie it. Okay, here's an important part. You're going to sew this together, but you have to follow a pattern that leaves the tail of the string on the outside. So starting with the fold facing you, okay, the fold is facing you, you're going to put the needle down. Pull it through and leave a little tail. Okay, that tail you can clip under the binder clip on the end so that it doesn't get away from you. Okay, so that's clipped. Tail is on the outside of the fold. Then you're just going to continue, turn it over, and this time you'll be going from the inside out. This time from the outside in. And because you have an even number of holes punched, oops, This is from the outside, from the inside out. Because you have an even number of holes punched, it will leave the tail on the outside when you finish as well. Okay, so one more, outside in, turn it over again, and this is inside out. Okay. Back where I started, I should see that I have my one tail that I had clipped down, and I can remove that clip now. This other tail over here, both on the outside. Give that a little tug to make sure that you didn't leave any excess string in the middle. And then this is your first signature that is sewn together and ready for the final step. That's as much as I'm going to show you today.